Hey everyone! Today I'm diving into the inspiring lives of the US presidents, from Franklin D. Roosevelt to Donald Trump, sharing some inspiring facts about these iconic figures. So, buckle up because here's some inspiring facts about America's presidents that you probably didn't know. Franklin D. Roosevelt. First up, Roosevelt was the only US president to serve 4 terms. His leadership during the Great Depression and World War II was legendary. Next, did you know he created the New Deal? This series of programs helped millions of Americans get back on their feet during tough times. Third, FDR was a huge fan of stamp collecting. He found it relaxing and even designed some stamps himself. Fourth, despite being paralyzed from polio, Roosevelt led the nation with strength and determination. He never let his disability define him. Finally, FDR established Social Security, which still benefits millions today. Harry S. Truman. First, Truman wasn't born with a silver spoon. He grew up on a farm in Missouri where he learned the value of hard work. Next, did you know Truman was the only US president in the 20th century who didn't have a college degree? He taught himself about history and politics through relentless reading. Now let's talk integrity. Truman famously said, "The buck stops here." He believed in taking responsibility, a rare quality in leadership. Here's a mind-blower. Truman made the tough decision to use atomic bombs on Japan, aiming to end World War II and save countless lives. And finally, Truman was a champion for civil rights. He desegregated the armed forces and took steps to end racial discrimination. Dwight D. Eisenhower. First up, Eisenhower was a master strategist. His leadership was crucial in planning and executing D-Day, the largest amphibious invasion in history. Second, Eisenhower was a champion of the interstate highway system. This transformed America's infrastructure and boosted the economy, making travel and trade easier than ever. Third, Eisenhower was a sports enthusiast. Eisenhower promoted physical fitness nationwide, believing that a healthy body was key to a healthy mind. Fourth, Eisenhower was a pioneer in civil rights. He signed the Civil Rights Act of 1957, the first civil rights legislation since Reconstruction. He also sent federal troops to Little Rock, Arkansas to enforce school desegregation. And finally, Eisenhower was a voice of international peace. He launched the Atoms for Peace initiative, promoting the peaceful use of nuclear energy. John F. Kennedy. First, JFK was a war hero. During World War II, he saved his crew after their boat was attacked. His bravery earned him the Navy and Marine Corps Medal. Next, he started the Peace Corps. In 1961, JFK encouraged young Americans to volunteer abroad, promoting peace and friendship on a global scale. Third, did you know he was a Pulitzer Prize winner? His book Profiles in Courage won the award in 1957, showcasing his literary talents beyond politics. Fourth, JFK was a space pioneer. His famous challenge to land a man on the moon by the end of the 1960s led to the historic Apollo 11 mission. And finally, he inspired a generation. His speeches like "Ask not what your country can do for you" continue to resonate and inspire millions. Lyndon B. Johnson. First up, LBJ was a teacher before he jumped into politics. He taught kids from low-income families, which inspired his passion for education reform. Second, Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964. This was a huge step in ending segregation and discrimination. Third, he was an animal lover. LBJ had a pair of beagles named him and her. Yep, those were their real names. Fourth, Johnson was a night owl. He often worked late into the night, holding meetings and making important decisions while most people were asleep. Finally, did you know he saved a Navy ship during World War II? Johnson was awarded the Silver Star for his bravery. Richard Nixon. First, did you know Nixon was a Quaker? That's right. Born into a deeply religious family, his upbringing influenced his strong work ethic. Second, Nixon was a Navy man. He served as a lieutenant commander in the Pacific during World War II. Talk about dedication. Third, Nixon lost the California governor's race in 1962, but made a stunning comeback to win the presidency in 1968. Fourth, ever heard of the Environmental Protection Agency? Nixon established it in 1970. And finally, Nixon was a piano virtuoso. He could play classical pieces from memory and even performed on national TV. Gerald Ford. First up, Gerald Ford was a star athlete. He played football at the University of Michigan and even turned down offers to go pro. Talk about commitment. Next, he served in the Navy during World War II. Ford's bravery earned him several medals for his service. Truly a hero on and off the field. Third, Ford almost became a lawyer. He graduated from Yale Law School before diving into politics. smart and dedicated. Fourth, he was the only president never elected as VP or president. Ford stepped up during a time of crisis, showing true leadership. And finally, Ford was all about honesty. He helped restore trust in the government after Watergate. Integrity at its finest. By Jimmy Carter. First up, Jimmy Carter is a Nobel Peace Prize winner. He received the award in 2002 for his tireless efforts in finding peaceful solutions to international conflicts, promoting democracy, and advancing human rights. That's right, even after his presidency, Carter continued to make a global impact. Next, after leaving the White House, Carter didn't just retire. Carter and his wife Rosalind have volunteered for Habitat for Humanity for decades, helping to construct and repair homes for those in need. Third, before becoming a politician, Carter was a humble peanut farmer in Georgia. His agricultural background gave him a unique perspective and a strong connection to the American working class. Fourth, way back in 1979, Carter installed solar panels on the White House roof. Though the panels were removed in later years, Carter's vision for a sustainable future remains influential. And finally, through the Carter Center, Jimmy has been instrumental in nearly eradicating the guinea worm disease, a painful parasitic infection. His dedication to public health has improved millions of lives around the world. Ronald Reagan Saud. First up, Reagan was a lifeguard before hitting the big screen. He saved 77 lives in 7 years. Second, he survived an assassination attempt in 1981. And just 12 days later he was back at work, showing true resilience. Third, Reagan started his career as a Democrat. He switched to the Republican Party in 1962. Talk about a political plot twist. Fourth, he helped end the Cold War. Reagan's tough stance on the Soviet Union and his famous tear down this wall speech were game changers. And finally, he loved jelly beans. Reagan even kept a jar of them on his desk in the Oval Office. A sweet touch to a serious job. George H.W. Bush. First up, George H.W. Bush was the youngest pilot in the Navy during World War II at just 18 years old. Talk about bravery right out of the gate. Next, as the 41st president, he oversaw the end of the Cold War, leading the world into a new era of diplomacy. Third, Bush signed the Americans with Disabilities Act in 1990, a groundbreaking law that championed the rights of millions. Fourth, he started the Points of Light initiative, encouraging volunteerism across the nation, because every small act can make a big difference. And finally, Bush skydived on his 90th birthday, proving that age is just a number. Now that's living life to the fullest. Bill Clinton. First up, did you know Bill Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar? He studied at Oxford University, joining an elite group of global leaders. Second, he's a Grammy winner. Clinton won a Grammy for Best Spoken Word Album for Children. Talk about diverse talents. Third, he's a master negotiator. Clinton played a key role in the Northern Ireland peace process, earning respect worldwide. Fourth, Clinton signed the Family and Medical Leave Act. This landmark law guarantees job-protected leave for family and medical reasons. And finally, Bill Clinton is a vegan. After heart surgery, he switched to a plant-based diet and became an advocate for healthier living. Barack Obama. First up, Barack Obama was the first African-American president of the United States, serving 2 terms from 2009 to 2017. His historic election broke barriers and inspired millions. Next, Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009. He was recognized for his extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. Third, did you know Obama is also an author? His memoir, Dreams from My Father, became a bestseller and gave us a deep insight into his early life and career. Fourth, before politics, Obama was a community organizer in Chicago. He worked tirelessly to improve living conditions for low-income families. And finally, he's a Grammy winner. Obama won 2 Grammys for Best Spoken Word Album for his audiobooks. Donald Trump. First up, did you know that Trump was a successful television personality before his presidency? Yeah, I'm talking about The Apprentice. Trump's catchphrase, "You're fired," became iconic and cemented his place in pop culture. Next, Trump is a published author. His book, The Art of the Deal, became a bestseller and has been used as a reference in business schools. Third, Trump has been involved in charity work for decades. He's donated millions to various causes, including health, education, and veterans. Fourth, Trump holds the title for the oldest person to assume the presidency. At 70 years old, he was inaugurated in January 2017. And finally, Trump's presidency saw historic economic milestones. The stock market reached record highs, and unemployment rates dropped to historic lows during his tenure. Joe Biden. First up, Joe Biden's first job was as a lifeguard. Yep, before politics he was saving lives and breaking barriers. Next, did you know Joe Biden overcame a severe stutter? As a kid, he practiced speaking in front of the mirror for hours. Talk about determination. Third, Biden's known for his love of ice cream. He even has a favorite flavor, chocolate chip. Sweet, right? Fourth, he's a family man through and through. After a tragic accident, he took the train every day to be with his sons. That's 90 minutes each way. And finally, Joe Biden is the second Catholic president in U.S. history. The first was John F. Kennedy, a historic connection.